Yes, look, the story of Daniel the prophet we're summarising today is the story of how you can find confidence through any crisis, isn't it, Sarah?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Okay, so we're revising it again, so hopefully everyone's understanding what we were up to now.
Even me.
Yes, even you, Pastor James. So we've got Daniel, who's been through all these different adventures, and he's risen to be one of the most wealthiest and powerful men, first in ancient Iraq and then Iran. And during this time, ancient Iraq is invaded by Iran. So he's a Prime Minister of Iraq first, and then he becomes a Prime Minister of Iran as well. And through all this time, his city of Jerusalem still remains in ruins. So the book of Daniel actually traces his life and his adventures as he goes through all of this. And his entire adult life, he's in exile, but an angel comes and appears to him to tell him that God is love and God is still in control. And I just want to read a verse from Daniel chapter 9, verse 27, where it says, "He will confirm a covenant with many for 1 7. In the middle of the 7, he will put an end to the sacrifice and offering, and at the temple he will set up an abomination that causes desolation until the end that is decreed is poured out on him." So he's given these visions about the future, and he writes down these visions. And 150 years before Jesus Christ comes, these visions that have been written down are put in tombs in the caves of Qumran. And then they're discovered not until World War II in 1947. And this is where we've got the Holy Book of Daniel, and this is what we've been studying so far. Yeah, look, Christians have puzzled about the writings of the Book of Daniel for just centuries. They just sound so cryptic, like the verse that Sarah read for us. But what are the basic themes of the book? It's not all about abominations of desolations and temples and...
Well, the themes, there's probably, you could divide it up into 5 stories and 5 prophecies. So the first 5 stories, in chapter 1, you get the story of the exile of Daniel into another country, and he has this decision to make about, does he follow God's way or does he follow the nation's way? And he's faithful to God with his food and diet, and he gets blessed for it. Then the second story is about what to do when a pagan dictator forces you to worship the wrong God. And so again, Daniel's friends choose to be faithful, and they're blessed for that. And so then we go on to our third story, should true worship be forced onto non-believers? Well, the simple answer is no. The fourth story looks at how to survive the collapse of an empire, and the fifth story is how to survive persecution. All this in the incredible book of Daniel.
Ah, well, let's go and see what Neil's told us about the 5 visions. You're going to nail it here.
Yeah, well, look, these stories that Ben was saying, the visions really build on those, and you really can't understand one without the other, because they're all interrelated. But, you know, we get the statue of Daniel chapter 2, which is paralleled with Daniel chapter 7, with the successive 4 beasts, which are world empires, and out of those would arise a power of intrigue, which would be a persecuting power, which would change prophecies and all sorts of things. And then we get Daniel 8 and 9, which comes in with some more visions and more prophecies of the future. And then, of course, the one which we've spent a couple of weeks on, Daniel 11 and 12. Incredible prophecies.
Lots of politics and war and...
lots of politics, lots of war, lots of persecuting. You know, these are... It was looking into the future. What do you do with a persecuting power? A power that was originally godly, but then becomes a persecuting and really just dreadful stuff.
Yeah, but it's not all about politics, is it?
No, it's definitely not. It's this amazing story about a Messiah that's going to come, and then the Messiah is going to be put to death. And so about 500 years before Christ, Daniel was told that in 490 years' time, this man is going to come. He's going to live here on earth, and then he's going to be put to death. And also that Jerusalem was going to be destroyed and the temple there would never be rebuilt. And this actually happened. Jesus came. He came on time. He came when he said he was going to come. And he died on time. Everything happened on time, on God's time. And it's actually amazing because he was also referred to in the book of Daniel as being called Messiah, and that's what Christ was, Messiah. And actually Christ translated means the word Messiah.
Ah, the Greek to the Hebrew.
Yes, it is.
Look, it's just incredible detailed predictions way in advance of the life and times of Jesus Christ there in the middle of the book of Daniel.